Imagine surviving in one of the harshest environments on Earth where the air bites with freezing winds and the sun disappears for months at a time. For most, such a landscape would mean certain doom. But for the Inuit, this is just daily life. Their resilience has long astonished scientists, not only because they survive, but because they thrive in conditions that push the boundaries of human endurance. Living in sub-zero temperatures, they rely on traditional hunting techniques and live in a landscape where snow and ice dominate everything. Their adaptation is nothing short of extraordinary. Their diet alone defies modern nutritional logic, centered on raw meat, whale blubber, and fatty fish with almost no fruits or vegetables. By contemporary standards, such a fat-heavy diet should lead to severe health issues like high cholesterol and heart disease. Yet the Inuit remain largely free from such conditions. Researchers have uncovered a genetic adaptation that allows their bodies to metabolize fats in a way that protects their cardiovascular health, a kind of evolutionary advantage most humans lack. But their uniqueness doesn't stop with diet. The Inuit exhibit a remarkable ability to generate and retain body heat. Their metabolism operates at a higher rate, producing more internal warmth, and their stockier physiques with shorter limbs help conserve the heat efficiently. Evolution has quite literally sculpted them for Arctic survival. Their mastery of the cold extends to their cognitive systems as well. The Inuit language initiates absolute directions north, south, east, and west into everyday communication. Unlike the relative directions used in most languages, this means an Inuit elder, even if blindfolded and spun around, could still point accurately to the cardinal directions. This extraordinary spatial awareness reflects a deep cognitive link between environment, language, and survival. A mental map so sophisticated that it stuns even modern scientists. In a completely different part of the world, a cultural phenomenon emerged that illustrates humanity's need to rationalize the unfamiliar. During World War II, isolated island communities in the Pacific encountered modern technology for the first time. Planes, radios, and massive crates of supplies, seemingly falling from the sky. With no context to understand these marvels, some Melanesian societies began forming cargo cults, believing the foreign soldiers were gods and the supplies divine gifts. In an effort to summon the cargo back, they built wooden replicas of airplanes and control towers, mimicked military drills, and even painted USA on their chests. But when the war ended and the Americans left, so did the cargo. For the islanders, it wasn't just the soldiers who had gone, it was their gods. Some believed the divine cargo had been taken to another world. Today, remnants of these beliefs remain, stark reminders of how cultural collisions can reshape reality in unexpected ways. In the lush, mist-shrouded hills of northeast India, the Naga people maintain a legacy that is both fearsome and rich in tradition. Comprising over 40 tribes spread across India and Myanmar, the Naga are known for their fierce warriors who, according to legend, once took on wild tigers barehanded. Central to their history is the ritual of headhunting, once seen as a rite of passage and a way to gain social prestige. Warriors proudly displayed enemy skulls as proof of their bravery, often marking their status with tattoos and ornaments. Though this practice has long faded, the spirit of defiance and pride persists in modern political activism and cultural preservation efforts. Beyond their warrior past, the Naga are skilled artisans, blacksmiths, and potters with a social structure that grants women notable agency, especially in household matters. A unique custom allows parents to build a new house for their eldest son upon marriage, ensuring both continuity and renewal within the community. Thousands of miles to the southeast, hidden in the mountainous terrain of Papua New Guinea, the Yali tribe remained cut off from the outside world until a British explorer finally made contact. What he found wasn't just an indigenous group, but a society operating like a time capsule, deeply spiritual, highly ritualistic, and meticulously organized. The Yalis commitment to preserving their traditions amid increasing exposure to modernity illustrates the power of cultural endurance and self-determination. Likewise, the Kuna people of Panama and Colombia fuse beauty and belief into an unyielding cultural force known for their vibrant mole textiles. Kuna women aren't just weavers, they are spiritual custodians and fierce protectors of their society. Their traditions include animal sacrifices and ceremonial chants, not as outdated rituals but as necessary acts to maintain cosmic balance. Over centuries, they've resisted colonization, cultural assimilation, and religious pressure, preserving their independence and way of life with unshakable resolve. In the remote icy tundra of northeastern Russia, the Chukchi people have withstood some of the planet's most brutal conditions. Divided into two primary groups, the inland reindeer herders and the coastal marine hunters, the Chukchi exhibit a lifestyle steeped in harmony with nature. Their traditional homes, called orangas, are designed for survival, wind-resistant, dome-like structures made of reindeer hides, insulated with central fires and secured with stones. Their hunting techniques, though now incorporating firearms, retain the ancestral respect and deep understanding of the land and animals. Despite Soviet attempts at modernization through schools and hospitals, the Chukchi have held tightly to their cultural identity, exemplifying that adaptation and tradition are not mutually exclusive. On the sun-scorched savannas of East Africa, the Surma people of Ethiopia and South Sudan display a different form of resistance, one defined by pride and independence, comprising several subtribes including the Chayan Bale. The Surma base there lives on cattle and agriculture and view any attempt to absorb them into modern governance with suspicion. Their distinctive visual identity, scarification, elaborate floral headdresses, and massive clay lip plates worn by women reflects a society where beauty is intertwined with tradition and social structure. Lip plates symbolize maturity and status, with the size of the plate often dictating the bride price. In cattle, their neighbors, the Mercy, share similar practices but take resistance a step further. Unlike most indigenous tribes, the Mercy openly carry AK-47, not for war, but as a means to protect their territory from encroachment and maintain sovereignty in a volatile region. Despite their fierce appearance, the Mercy are deeply rooted in ritual and community. Their modern tools coexist with ancient wisdom, forming a hybrid model of survival that's both symbolic and practical. What unites all these diverse cultures is their astonishing ability to not just endure, but flourish in environments deemed hostile or impossible by others. From icy poles to equatorial jungles, their lives are testaments to human ingenuity, adaptability, and perseverance. They confront the encroachment of modernity, not with submission, but with selective integration. They pick what fits, discard what threatens, and adapt on their own terms. The Inuits' legendary navigational skill, for instance, allows them to read subtle shifts in snow, wind, and stars with uncanny accuracy. Time itself flows differently in these societies. Western clocks are largely irrelevant. Instead, time is measured by events, seasons, rituals, and communal milestones. The Surma don't track hours. They remember cattle births, droughts, and coming-of-age ceremonies. This cyclical, event-driven perception of time fosters a relationship with nature that is participatory rather than dominating. Likewise, spiritual rituals across tribes in the Amazon, Papua New Guinea, or Africa are often misunderstood as superstition. In truth, they serve as sophisticated cosmologies that explain natural phenomena, guide decision-making, and sustain mental and social harmony. Perhaps one of the most telling case studies of cultural collision is the cargo cults. Their response to foreign technology, building symbolic runways and wooden planes, may seem naive to the untrained eye, but in reality, it reflects a universal human instinct to make sense of the unknown, to assign meaning where logic fails. They weren't simply copying. They were integrating, spiritualizing, and contextualizing their experiences in a way that fit their worldview. The tragedy wasn't their belief. It was the outsourced failure to engage with empathy or curiosity. This recurring theme echoes across communities like the Naga or Mercy, who have had to actively defend not just land but cultural integrity. The Mercy's armed stance isn't a call to violence, but a shield against erasure. The Naga no longer headhunters, now channel their warrior legacy into protecting language, ceremony, and dignity. Women, too, are vital cultural anchors. In Kuna society, women are artists and priests. Their textiles are not just decorative but historical records. In the Surma body, adornments become public declarations of cultural values, reinforcing identity in the face of globalization. Modernity is not inherently rejected by these groups. Satellite phones may now assist reindeer herders. Tourists may occasionally walk tribal trails, but the essential soul of these communities remains intact. They are not frozen relics of the past. They are evolving, but on their own terms. They remind us that progress isn't a single road paved with technology. It can also be a footpath worn smooth by wisdom, memory, and ancestral knowledge. In every scar, lip plate, ceremonial chant, or snowborn footprint lies a powerful truth. Humanity's greatest strength is its diversity in ways of being, thinking, and surviving. This profound diversity reveals that human progress cannot be measured solely by technology, economic output, or urban expansion. Instead, it is also expressed in our ability to live in harmony with